First of all, we have to realize that living in the present moment, focusing your mind to the present moment is not a simple thing. It is very hard, but also it is an achievable target. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, Atitang nanvagameya nappati kanke anagata. You should not chase after the past. And also, you should not make too much expectations about the future. Supreme Buddha said, Yadati tang pahinantang appattancha anagata. What is past is left behind. It is gone. It is over now. Appattancha anagatam. The future is yet to come. It hasn't reached yet. Buddha said, Pachupannancha yo dhammang tattha tattha vipassati. What you have to do is live in the present moment and see the present moment as it is. Right? Realize the present moment as it is. So it is very hard to focus your mind to the present moment. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us the nature of the mind is it always runs to the past. Normally, our mind has a habit to wander in the past, memories. Right? When we are alone, when we are solitude, and when we live in our life alone, lonely, normally it is the nature our mind runs to the past. It lives in the past memories, thinking about them. Sometimes you may regret about them. Sometimes you may be happy about them. Sometimes you may cry about them. Right? So that is the nature of our mind. It is always wandering in the past. And also sometimes our mind try to make expectations, too much expectations about the future. Right? People dream too much about their future, but they do not work for the dreams to come true. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you should not let your mind to wander in the past, as well as you should not let your mind to go for the future and make too much expectations about that. What you have to do is you have to work in the present moment to make your future better, as well as to make your past better. Because when you live correctly in the present moment, right, your past will be a good one because you have lived in the correct way. And also, if you are sure that you are living correctly in the right way in the present moment, your future will be also a good one because you are doing the right thing right now. So, you need to have a good practice to focus your mind to the present moment. So it should be practiced by meditation as well as it should be practiced in the practical world, in your life. So I will teach you some tricks or things that you should practice in your life to be in the present moment, right? So when you have a free time, right, dedicate yourself to live in the present moment for a little time. During the day, when you have the free time, allocate your time about 5 minutes to live in the present moment. Sit on a chair, you can close your eyes and just experience that you are in your present. You are not in your past, you are not in your future, always you are in your present. That is the reality, right? The past has gone as well as the future hasn't come yet, right? So close your eyes and just try to focus your mind to the present moment. Try to think about what you feel, what you hear, and what you think about, all the things that you experience now will fade away to the past, and it will go into the arena of past, right? So take your time in the day and practice this. The best way to focus your mind to the present moment is the breathing meditation. Breathing meditation is one of the best meditations that you can bring your mind from the arena of past and the future to the present moment. Because the breath, when you're focusing on your breath, right, always the breath arises and it goes down. So this breath prevails in the present. So when you focus your mind to the breath, then your mind is always in the present moment. And also, you have to practice to live in the present moment in your practical life, in your day-to-day life. So how to do that? So it is very beneficial to live in the present when you are in the hard times, when you are going through a problem. Now suppose if a person comes to you and started blaming you. Now when he is blaming, you hear that sound, the words, right? When we think about these words, right? When he is blaming, you hear that, and after that very moment, it has gone to the arena of past. Those words are not prevailing anymore, right? But our mind does not like to think that. Our mind clings to those words, right? Our mind tries to hold on to those words, and what our mind does is it always make a loop-like thing to bring back all those thoughts, all those words again and again to our mind, and that is why we are suffering. That is why we feel hurt, right? If we can realize the reality that all these words that I heard has gone to the past, they are no longer here anymore, they are vanished, then you don't want to suffer for anything, right? Because it has gone to the past. You cannot do anything about that. But our mind is not ready for that, right? Our mind tries to cling to those words, right? So what you have to do, when someone blames you, when you are going through a hard time, realize that all those things are impermanent, and it vanishes very quickly from my life. So I don't want to worry about them, right? So if you are living in the present moment correctly, doing the correct thing, doing the right thing, doing good things, you don't want to worry about the past, as well as you don't want to worry about the future. Of course, you can make the plans for the future, no problem, but do not dream too much about it. Because the more we dream, it is like we are stopping our vehicle and just looking towards the road without driving, right? The more we dream, we feel jealous about the achievers who achieve our goals, right? So it is like you are stopping your vehicle on the road and looking at the vehicles that pass by. You're not driving, right? You can make your plans, you can make your goals, but do not dream too much about it. Just start working for it, right? So the dream becomes a goal when you are working on it only. So if you can live in the present, doing the correct thing, doing what should be done now, you don't want to worry about the past, as well as you don't want to worry about the future. So in that way, you will have a life without regret and without worrying about the future and the past, and live your life in the present moment and be happy by your life. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Today, I'm going to share with you a wonderful and meaningful Dhammapada verse. So what is Dhammapada? Dhammapada is a set of verses that was preached by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. Now, Supreme Buddha used so many ways to preach Dhamma to people. So, one of those ways was he used the verses, right? He preached Dhamma in verses. And also there is another way, which we call the discourses, or we call them suttas or sutras, right? So there are so many ways that Supreme Buddha used to preach and elaborate the Dhamma to people, right? So Dhammapada is a set of verses that was preached by Supreme Buddha, and it contains 423 verses. So today I'm going to share with you one of those verses. This verse Supreme Buddha explains about the mind, right? This verse says, Dunni gahassa lahuno, yatta kamani patino, chittassa damato sadhu, chittang dantang sukhavahang. So what is the meaning of that verse? Dunni gahassa lahuno. It is very difficult to control your mind, to take control over your mind. Yatta kamani patino. It moves swiftly and it lands wherever it feels the desire. Chittassa dhammato sadhu. But it is very good to discipline our mind. It is very good to tame our mind. Why? Chittang dantang sukhavahang. When we tame our mind, when we take control over our thoughts and emotions, then we can have the happiness in our life, right? So people in this society thinks that they need the freedom to express whatever comes to their mind. Now some people may say like that. They need that freedom. But if you are going to express everything that comes to your mind, right, you will end up as a terrible person, right? So if you express your anger every time when it comes to your mind, what will happen? No one will like you, right? If you express each and every bad thought that comes up to your mind, you will become a bad or an evil person. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you need to take control over your thoughts. Why? Chittang dantang sukhavahang. When we control our thoughts, only we can have the happiness in our life, right? So it is very good to discipline our mind. Now, making our mind disciplined and taking control over our thoughts and emotions is very hard, right? So for an example, whenever you get up early in the morning, right, when you wake up, is it easy to get up from the bed? No, your mind says to stay on the bed for another 5 minutes. That is what our mind says. But if we listen to our mind, right, if the mind took control over our life, what will happen? We will stay on the bed forever, right? We will stay on the bed for another 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes will be another 1 hour. So that is how it's going on. So you should not listen and you should not do and speak to every emotion that comes up in your mind, right? You need to have the mental discipline, right? Remember, every successful person who ever lived in this world had the ability to take control over their emotions and not to let the evil emotions and thoughts to take control of their life. They had that discipline. Because of that discipline, they became the great people, right? So if you have the mental discipline, if you need to be great, if you need to be successful in your life, you need to have the mental discipline. So how do we get the mental discipline? It is very simple. All these things are based on practices. The practice is the secret for the mental discipline. So what are the practices that we can do and have in our life to have the mental discipline? The first and the foremost practice that we can practice or do in our life to have the mental discipline is the meditation, right? If you can meditate for at least for 5 minutes a day, it will be a great help to take control over your thoughts, right? You can do loving kindness meditation. If you practice the quality of loving kindness, that means you are controlling your thoughts of anger. So if you practice breathing meditation, you can take control over the distracting thoughts that are popping up in your mind. So the best way to take control over our thoughts and have the mental discipline is doing meditation. So practice the meditation at least for 5 minutes a day, right? If it is more than that, that is much better. But at least you can practice 5 minutes meditation per day, and then little by little you can gain the mental discipline, right? So most of the meditators, right, the successful meditators have this mental discipline. So the key to the mental discipline is the meditation, right? And you have to have the idea inside your mind that I must not let every thought that is popping up inside my mind to out, right? So if you are being angry all the time, then you need to make a decision to your life that I'm not going to express my anger hereafter, right? Remember, expressing anger is not something strong. It is not something great. It is a weakness, right? Only weak people express their anger. So you need to take control of your anger because it hurts you more than others. So if you love yourself, you should not be angry. So practice this mental discipline and know that it is very hard to discipline your mind, but through practice, through meditations, and through developing good qualities, you can have the mental discipline in your life. So I wish you all, may all of you have the great opportunity to discipline your mind and find the ultimate happiness in your lives. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. So first of all, I will tell you a wonderful story that tells us how Buddha dealt with a toxic person, right? So this is a famous and well-known story. One day, a man came to the Buddha and he started yelling and insulting, and he was cursing Buddha, right? So do you know how Buddha faced that situation? He was smiling. He didn't make any reaction. Throughout that conversation and throughout that situation, he put on a smile, a positive smile on his face, and he was looking at that person who was yelling at him very kindly, right? So he was very kind to that person. Now, after some time, that person stopped yelling, right? Everything that he packed inside him was over. He was finished. Then our great teacher Supreme Buddha asked a wonderful question from him, right? Now it is totally different to the situation, right? It does not suit for the situation. Supreme Buddha asked, do you get visitors to your home? Does visitors visit to your home? Then that person was astonished and he was amazed. And he said, yes, I get so many visitors to my home. The Supreme Buddha kindly asked from that person, do you treat them with foods and drinks? Then that person said, yes, I am treating them. Then Supreme Buddha said, what if they did not accept what you have treated, what you have given? So, for whom those foods and drinks belongs to, if they did not accept those foods and drinks? Then that person laughed in front of the Buddha and he said, so if they did not accept my treat, then it belongs to me. I will eat them. Then our Supreme Buddha, with a great and wonderful, kind smile in his face, he said, same goes with this situation, man. You treated me with rude and harsh words. You treated me with anger. But I am a person who is not accepting anything that you have given to me. I will never accept those rude and harsh words that you treated me. Right? So if I do not accept anything that you have given, then everything that you gave to me belongs to you. Then you should eat it. Right? Then that person was amazed and his anger was cooled down. Then after, Supreme Buddha preached the Dhamma, his teachings to him. After that, he became a follower of our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. Now see how positively and how successfully our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, dealt with that toxic person. Now, if we were in that situation, what would be our reaction? Normally, when people yelling at us, we try to talk to them back. We try to prove them wrong, right? We try to control them with our rude and harsh words. Supreme Buddha said, if you treat with anger to the people who is treating you with anger, if you give the same thing, that means you are sharing their food and eating, right? If you become angry, that means you are sharing their treats. Remember, whenever you are in such situations, whenever you face toxic people, whenever people around you are angry, what you have to do? The first thing that you have to do is put on a positive smile to your face. Never show your sad or angry face to them. If you show that, that means you are providing what they want. Because they are coming to you expecting to hurt you. If you show them that you have been hurt, then you are unsuccessful. You provide them what they wanted. So never show your angry or sad face to them. Put on a smile. Be a positive person. Be a bigger person than him. Because when one person becomes angry, right, he becomes mentally weak. Remember, mentally weak people express their anger easily. The reason why they are expressing their anger is because they don't have a strong mentality. So you need to be the bigger guy, right? To be the bigger guy, you have to be positive, you have to smile, and you have to be motivated with virtues and morals. Okay? Be the best version of yourself. Don't try to talk to them back. That is the first thing. And also, you have to listen to what they tell, what they speak. Right? Set apart and leave behind the person. Don't care about the person. Care about what they say. Right? Sometimes they may be yelling at you because of a mistake that they think that you have done, but in reality, sometimes you haven't done it. So what you have to do? You have to listen to that and understand what they say. Right? Give a big attention to what they say. Right? So if they complain you about a mistake or something else, then you have to think, is that mistake prevails in my life? Right? Is that mistake is inside my life? Have I done that mistake really? Right? If you have done some mistake and if that is the reason that they are yelling at you, then you have to correct your mistake. But never show the face of anger or sadness. Okay? Then you have to correct it. If you haven't done any mistake, and still if they are complaining you, then don't try to prove them wrong. Because each and every time you try to prove them wrong, they may be understanding it in a wrong way. Because when our mind gets deluded or when our mind is covered by anger, normally an angry man shuts his eyes and ears and he opens his mouth. Right? He cannot see anything, he cannot listen to anything, he cannot hear anything. So what you have to do? Don't try to prove them wrong. Stay silent. Silence can give many answers to problems. Right? So if you need to prove them wrong with your success. Not with your words. Right? That is how we do it. So you have to set apart the person and listen to what they say. If you have done a mistake, correct it. If you haven't done a mistake, leave it behind. Don't care about that. So the best practice that you can do to generate and to have this skill is to practice the mind of loving kindness. Right? If you love yourself, you will never like to make yourself angry. If you love yourself, then you will have the opportunity to love others. And if you love others, you will never try to hurt those people with rude and angry words. So practice loving kindness. Practice compassion. Right? Love, compassion, care. These things can provide many answers to the problems that pop up in our life. So you always need to be kind. You always need to be humble. And also remember, being humble is not being weak. You need to be positive. Right? You need to have a good skill to handle these situations. Now, this can be done by visualizing to yourself that how I'm going to face such a situation. If you can visualize that a situation like that now, and if you can imagine in your mind how I'm going to face it, right? If you can see that you are having a good smile on your face, and if you are listening to those people, and you are handling that situation very successfully, then that visualization will help you to deal in a real situation like that. So practice that, right? That is how we deal with toxic people. Never provide what they want. When they come to you, they need the anger from you. They need to hurt you. So don't provide that. If you did not provide it, you will handle it successfully. So I wish you all, may all of you have that wonderful skill to deal with the toxic people successfully. Namo Buddhaya, Tirvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. When we come to this human world, we met lots of people around us. Even for today, we have people who we like most, who we love most. They may be your parents, they may be your life partners, they may be your neighbors, maybe. They may be your relatives, whatever they are, whoever they are. Remember, we have a little bond between those people and our mind. Don't we have that little attachment? Yes, that is the attachment, that is the bond which keeps us all together. The nature of our mind is when this attachment gets too much tightened, when those people fade away from our life, when they become changed, either from the characteristics and from the problems, when they become changed or when they fade away from our life, we may start to suffer. Because we hold on to them tightly. The more tightly we hold on to those people, the more we will suffer when they become changed, when they become impermanent. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us to think about this reality whenever possible, right? Throughout the day, you have to think about this. At least one time of a day, if you can think this, you will be able to get through those problems and difficult situations in your life. So what is the reality of this life? Supreme Buddha said, Sabbehi me piyehi manapehi nana bhavo vina bhavoti. Everything that I love, everyone that I love in my life will fade away one day. That is the reality. Okay? We all have to be departed from every loved one and every loved thing in our life. Isn't that true? Yes, that is the real truth, right? Whoever person we are with, we have to say goodbye to them at least at the death, right? We have to say goodbye to them. We have to leave these people. So that is the reality. The problem is we are not thinking about this thing. We are afraid to think about this. Supreme Buddha said, you need to think about this reality. Why? The more you think this reality, your mind gets prepared to face that moment, face that experience, right? If you are being prepared to face such a terrible and difficult moment, you can easily get over from that problem and difficult time and maintain your peacefulness within yourself without being distracted. Because your mind is prepared for that terrible moment, to face that terrible moment. And you already know that you are going to be departed from these people one day. The more you think it, remember, you will be able to deal with those difficult moments. And also, when you're thinking about this, you will always be motivated to love the people around you. Right? Normally we don't think about that, right? When we are not thinking about that, we always try to hate people, right? We always try to hurt people around us who always loves us. But if you think, one day they will depart from my life. One day I have to say goodbye to them and leave this world. So before leaving, I have to love them. I have to make them happy. If you can think like that, you will start to love your people around you. Sometimes you may have problems with your life partner, right? If you can think, I am being departed from these people one day. So before that happens, I have to give something valuable to their life. I have to make these people's life a better one. If you can think about this reality, if you can love the people around you, right, you yourself will become peaceful and happy, and as well as the people around you, the people who love you most and the people you love most will become happy. So always think that one day that I have to be departed from all the loving things and loving people around me. So before that happens, I have to do something good, and I have to collect something good for my life, and I have to give something good for the people around me. When you think that, you will become peaceful. Try it and see the difference. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. So when we talk about willpower, first of all, we need to understand about this. Willpower is the ability to control our emotions and put ourselves into a schedule and work on it for our own success. So many of us find so much hard, and it is a tough task to run ourselves in a schedule. To do that, we need to have the willpower. We need to have that mental discipline to control the emotions that pop up in our mind. So, how to do this thing? Well, there is a basic and very important factor that always helps us to develop our willpower. And that is known as, our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us, and that is known as the chanda. Chanda means the desire, passion. So if you have the desire for doing something, if you are passionate on doing something, if you are passionate of developing yourself, you will be always motivated, and you will always have that energy within yourself to do that, right? But many of the students actually, and many of us, find very hard to get up early in the morning and start studying. Why? Because we don't have that willpower. To develop that willpower, we need to have the desire for doing that, right? So desire, or the passion, is the factor that drives through these tough tasks. So first of all, we need to develop the passion or the desire for our own success. So how to do that? So if you see some advantages of doing something, right? If you feel the advantages of doing something, then you will be passionate on doing that. So for an example, if I tell you that tomorrow you're going to go a picnic or a trip, so you should show up at 3 a.m. in the morning to a specific place. Normally, we will get up at maybe 2 a.m. and we will get ready. We will pack our bags and we will go for that, and we will show up right at 3 a.m. because we are passionate about that. We have that desire to go and have that pleasure. So in that case, you can get up early in the morning. But if we tell a person or a student to get up early in the morning and study, he or she will never do that, because you don't have the desire for that. So first of all, you need to contemplate, and you need to focus on the advantages of studying, right? You need to visualize that the achievements that you are going to achieve in the future, right? So when you see that specific goal and destination that you have to go. And if you visualize that you are going to have that, then you will develop your desire, right? So to develop the passion or the desire, you need to always focus on the advantages of what you're doing. So if you put the love and if you put the desire, your passion into your work, then you will have that willpower. Your willpower will be developed day by day, right? So willpower or this motivation is not a thing that we get from our birth, right? It should be developed. It's like a muscle, right? It is quite same that when you go to the gym and when you work out, right? Day by day, it's growing up, your muscles. That is the nature. But we cannot expect quick results from these things, right? So if you went to the gym and if you work out, right? In the first day, if you come in front of the mirror and look to yourself, there will be no change. But if you're going to the gym constantly and working out, if you work out, your body starts to grow up. Same goes with this willpower, or same goes with success. If you're doing it every day without stopping, that is called the consistency, right? Consistency is the key to success. So if you're working on your success consistently with the willpower, with the love, passion, then it will start to grow. So first of all, you need to develop the willpower. You need to have the passion or the love. To develop that passion, you need to concentrate on the advantages that you're getting by doing these things, right? So now I'm going to talk about what are the things that destroys our willpower. There are some evil and bad habits which can decrease the willpower. So what are these things? These are called the addictions, right? So the first thing that I must say, and the first and the main thing that destroys the willpower is the addiction to alcoholic drinks and the drugs. They can ruin your willpower very much. So stay away from alcoholic drinks and drugs and everything, because they destroys your mentality, and also they destroys your health, right? The more your health will be destroyed, the more your mentality, your mental strength will be decreased. So stay away from the drugs and alcoholics. And the second thing is probably, this might be a little bit harder for you, actually, it is the video games, right? If you are addicted to gaming all the time, it can cause to decrease the willpower. So these are the things that we call the dangerous or unwanted addictions in our life. So you must stay away from those things, right? And also finally, the pornography. If you are addicted to watch porn all the time, that will be a huge impact on your willpower. Okay, so it will decrease your willpower day by day. So stay away from these things, right? Stay away from especially the dangerous addictions in your life. Then work on yourself, have that passion inside yourself, think of the advantages, right? Then you can put love, passion into your work. And when you do that continuously, consistently, you will develop your willpower. And once you develop your willpower, you can achieve any goal in your life. So I wish you all, may all of you have that opportunity to develop the willpower within your lives. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Now, one of our viewers have asked a question from us, that what is true love according to the Buddhism? Well, when we talk about the topic love, remember, as humans, as beings in this world, we all seek love and affection in our life, right? All living beings needs love to live. So when you talk about the topic love, it is a vast and a broad topic, right? Love can be found in many ways. But the basic and the base for all these kinds of love is the kindness and the compassion. But most oftenly, people may misunderstand the love and the attachment. Right? When we come to the topic of love between the partners, the male and females, boys and girls, many of the boys and girls, they doesn't know what is true love and what is attachment. Now there is a distinct difference between true love and attachment. So what is that difference? Well, when someone loves another person, he will say, I need you to be happy by being with me. Right? In the other hand, if someone being attached to some person, he will always say that why are you not making me happy? Right? So there is a big difference between these two expressions. When someone loves another person, he will say, I need you to be happy by being with me. That means you are trying to give something to someone. Right? You always try to give the happiness to a person. But if you are being attached to someone, right? If you are developing lustful ideas towards someone, your mind will say, why are you not making me happy? You need to make me happy. So that is based on the selfishness, right? The true love is based on unselfishness, right? In the true love, there are many things, many good assets. They are the love, kindness, compassion, patience. These are the basic qualities that leads to the true love. Right? If you're loving someone, you need to be kind to that person. You need to be compassionate to that person. You need to feel the sadness of those people. Now, when we talk about the topic compassion, compassion means to suffer with other people. That means if you can feel the pain that is hidden inside the people's life, if you can feel and become empathy, you can feel the empathetic feeling about them, then that is called compassion. If you can share the pain that is in another person with you, then that is compassion. So in true love, you need to have that sharing ability. And also, you need to have the kindness. You need to always wish the well-being of that person. Right? You need always to wish the good of that person. That is how you love truly. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha gave a wonderful explanation for the love. Supreme Buddha said, Mata yatan yang puttang ayusa eka putta manurakhe. As a mother who loves her only child, you should spread that same love to every person in this world. So when we talk about mother's love, parents, they does not expect anything from us. Instead, they love them. love us. Now, when we were small, right, we were doing so many terrible things to our parents, right? Have you seen that the babies do so many terrible things to their parents, right? They drag from their hair, they pinch them, they cry, they yell, but yet the parents still love their children. So when someone is truly loving someone, it's like they're holding them firmly and they're nurturing them, right? But if you are attached to a person, you always expect the things from others, right? You always expect the things that fulfill your desires, right? When someone is attached and when someone is being lustful for someone, that means he's always expecting to fulfill every fulfillment and desire from that person. You're not trying to give something, always you are trying to get something from that person, right? It's like you're holding on to something tightly, right? Suppose you are drawing a cow or a bull. You are holding that cow or a bull from a rope. So when that animal tries to escape, what you are doing is you are holding it tightly, right? The more you hold it tightly, you are the one who is getting hurt, right? You are the one who is getting hurt. If you can let go, what will happen? You are not getting hurt anymore. So when you are being attached to a person, you will always get hurt. And you will never fulfill your desires, because desires and sensual desires, they never get fulfilled. We cannot make ourselves satisfied from those things. Okay, so that is what you call the attachment. In attachment, you hold on to things tightly. There is a great quote that describes about love. If you like a flower, right? If you like a flower, you will pluck that flower. But if you love a flower, you will water the plant, that flower plant. So if you love someone, what you have to do, you have to say that I need you to be happy with me, right? I always wish the happiness of your life. If that happiness includes me, that is better. But if it is not, in that case also, I need you to be happy. That is how you love truly. And that is the difference between the true love and the attachment, right? In true love, you don't expect anything from the person, but still you try to give the happiness to them. In attachment, you always expect the things from people, and still you will never be satisfied from them. So choose to love the people correctly. If you choose to love people correctly, then you will be a peaceful person throughout your life. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. First of all, we have to understand about the situation of that person, right? If a person is being narcissist, that means he needs the attention from others, okay? And also, they don't care about others' feelings. They can hurt you at any time, right? They don't care about your feelings. So when you're dealing with such people, the first thing that you have to do and to develop within yourself is the patience, right? When we talk about the patience, Supreme Buddha said you should not be patient out of fear, right? Lot of people talk about patience and they think that being patient is a weakness, right? If you are being patient out of fear, and that is a weakness. But if you can be patient with the wisdom by being positive, not being aggressive, not being negative, but if you can be assertive, right? The positive patience, the patience with wisdom, then you will have that ability to deal with people, right? When you are being patient, you will develop the ability of listening to them, right? As the narcissistic person needs the attention from others, if you are listening to their ideas, if you are listening to what they say, then they will start to give a consideration, or they will start to love you, or they will start to like you because you are listening to them. But still you are being patient, and you are not being patient out of fear, and still you are listening to that person, then that person will start to like you, start to be with you. Now, normally when we find narcissistic people, the people with selfishness and people with higher self-esteem, we always try to reject them. Remember, the more we reject such people, the more they will develop their narcissism. They will tighten up their narcissism, because we feed their ego, right? No one likes to be rejected in their lives, especially the narcissistic people. They don't like to be rejected. So what you have to do, you need to be patient. You need to listen to them very carefully. Give a big attention. That is the first quality. Number 2, you need to have the kindness within yourself. You need to be kind to yourself as well as to the person who needs your attention, that person, right? If you can be kind to them, right, they will start to love you, and they will start to listen to your ideas. Normally narcissistic people, they don't listen to others' ideas. They think that I don't want any advice from anyone. I'm the superior person. But if you approach them with kindness, if you approach them with patience, if you are not rejecting them, they will start to soften their stubbornness. Normally they are the people who are with hard and stubborn qualities, right? So if you are approaching them with kindness, compassion, listening, patience, then they will start to follow your advice, right? They will start to think twice about your advices, right? So what you have to do is, you have to approach them with kindness. Remember, kindness has the answers for these types of questions, problems, right? Normally we don't choose to be kind. We always try to reject those people. They are the people who needs our help. They are the people who needs our attention, right? If they need our attention, we have to give that. If you give that attention to themselves, then they will start to like you. Okay? And also, you need to take time, right? If you need to change that person, if you need to make them feel that this narcissism and the things that the problem that I am having is not a good thing, you need to take time to explain them, right? People doesn't change in one night, within one night, right? It takes time. And also you cannot convince a person through anger or rejection or blaming or scolding to make them change. You cannot do that. People change by themselves, by their own choices. If they made the choice to change themselves, then only they are changing, right? If we try to change themselves, if they are not listening to our ideas, then they will never change. So what you have to do, take time, little by little, one step by one step. You have to approach them with kindness, compassion, and patience. That is a soft approach, not a hard one. Okay? And the third quality that you must have within yourself is to admire their values, their good things. Right? Normally we have the nature in ourselves to label the people. Right? If someone has selfishness within himself, we label that person as a narcissist. Right? But he's not a narcissist. He is a person, he is a human which has narcissistic ideas. He's not a narcissist. Now, same goes with other people. If we take a murderer, right, we label that person as a murderer. But he's not a murderer. He is a person who had killed a person. Right? The more we label people like that, narcissists, murderers, selfish people, unkind people, like that, if we label the people, if we give the tags to them, right, they will never get out of their problems, their weaknesses. First of all, we need to see the human within that person. In every narcissistic person, there is a human which has good qualities. So you have to see those qualities and admire those qualities. Give a value to them. Right? If you're giving value to them and if you're not caring and if you're not caring and if you're ignoring the negative side of that person, and they will always give a good admiration to you. Right? So when you are living with a narcissistic person, what you have to do is you have to admire their little qualities, good qualities that they have. Right? When you admire them, they will like you. When a person develops the desire for another person, then they will always start to listen to that person. Right? Then after that, with the time, if you tell, now you have to get out of this problem, you have to stop being selfish and you need to start to be kind and compassionate to yourself and to the others, then they will start to listen to your advice. Right? So never use anger or resentment, aggression to deal with such people. Right? If you are using anger, resentment, hatred to deal with such people, they will never get out of their problems. They will never become changed. Right? So approach them in a soft way, in a kind way. You have to help them because they need our help. So when you are dealing with such people, tough people, narcissistic people, right, you have to always use these qualities: patience, kindness, and good listening abilities. You have to take time, right? You have to value and admire their qualities. These are the things that gives the answer for these type of problems in our life. So when you are living your life, develop these qualities within your heart and make your heart a peaceful place and make the hearts of the people around you a peaceful place. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. We all have heard the saying that friend in need is a friend indeed. So it is very important to have a good friend to our life because we can share our thoughts with them, we can share our celebrations with them, as well as we can share the pain and difficult situations that we are feeling in our life with them. That is why our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, having good friends around you is a blessing for your life. So, our great teacher Supreme Buddha described there are 7 signs of a good friend. If you see these 7 signs in your friend, you have to remember and you have to make sure that your friend is a friend indeed, a good friend. So what are these 7 signs? Number 1, our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, a true friend, a good friend will do what is hard to do to his friend. That means there are so many people around us who can help us, who will help us, but there are few people who will help us when they are going through the hard times in their life. If they are going through a hard time in their life, if they can help us, if they help us with hard things, right, they are the true friends to our life. That is why Supreme Buddha said, a true friend will do what is hard to do for his friend. Number 2, Supreme Buddha said, he will give what is hard to give to you. Normally, people will like to give when they have money, right? Your friends also will like to help you when they have money, right? But if there is a friend who can help you, even he or she is going through a hard time in his life, right? If he or she will gives you the most valuable things in his life, right? If he or she can share the life with you, he is a good friend, right? So if you see this sign in a friend of yours, remember, he or she is a good friend. Number 3, Supreme Buddha said, he will endure what is hard to endure. That means he will be very patient with you, right? He will accept your faults. He will accept your failures. He will never judge you, right? He will put up with you. He will be very patient with you. Even you are angry with that person, he will never be angry with you. That is the sign of a good friend, right? He will never judge you. He will never be angry with you. He will endure what is hard to endure. Number 4, Supreme Buddha said, he will reveal his secrets to you. There will be nothing that he hides from you in his life, right? He is the person that you all know about him, right? He will never hide anything from you. He will always reveal his secrets with you because he trusts you. So if someone trusts you, if someone reveals his secrets with you, he's a good friend because he trusts you. And number 5, Supreme Buddha said, he will keep your secrets. He will never reveal your secrets to anyone. He will be a good secret keeper. He will be a trustworthy person, right? That is a good sign of a good friend. And number 6, Supreme Buddha said, when the misfortune strikes your life, when you become unsuccessful in your life, he will never abandon you, right? There are more people or more friends around us when we have money, right? When we are successful in our lives. But if there is a friend who can be with you, who will be with you when you are down in your life, when you don't have money, when you are poor, if a friend is always with you, he is a good friend, because that friendship does not depend on money. That friendship depends on the emotions and the hearts of both of you. So if a friend is with you when you are poor or when you are down in your life, right? He is a good friend. That is the 6th sign of a good friend. And the final one, number 7, Supreme Buddha said, he will never disrespect you even when you are down in your life. When you face the failures, when you are unsuccessful in your life, he will never complain about that, right? He will accept your failures and he will give better advice to make your life better and to be successful. So these are the 7 signs of a good friend. If you see a good friend in your life with these 7 signs, make sure to associate with him. Make sure to be loyal to him, right? Make sure to build up a good friendship with him because he's a true friend. So having true friends is a very important thing for our life, because in this society we cannot find many people with these 7 qualities. And I want to tell you that there is a person in your life with all these 7 qualities. They are your parents. Parents have all these 7 qualities. They will never abandon you, even when you are down in your life, right? They will give what is hard to give. They will do what is hard to do. They will endure what is hard to endure. That is the nature of your parents. So if you did not find a true friend in your life, be with your parents. They are the true friends. And also there is a time that we have to live alone in this world without our parents. If you did not find a true friend in that time, learn to live alone. Because living alone is better than living with toxic people, toxic friends. So find good friends, find the friends with these qualities and be with them and make friendships with them and make your life better. Namo Buddhaya. One day, our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, was questioned by a monk. The monk asked, "Oh, Venerable Sir, is there any great good human quality that gives the birth to all other good human qualities?" Then our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, replied, "Dear monk, there is a single great quality, good human quality, which gives the birth to all other good human qualities. And that human quality is known as the gratitude." Gratitude, what do you mean by that? Gratitude means the ability to be thankful for the helps that one has received from others. So if you can be thankful for the people who helped you on your life's journey from the deepest place from your heart, if you can say thank you to them, that means you have a heart of gratefulness. You have a big heart. So when we come to this world, we were helpless. But there were 2 great people who greeted us to this world, and they are our parents. Parents greeted us, they nurtured us, they fed us, they took care of us, they showed us the correct path. So all these helps were received to our life by our great parents. So Supreme Buddha said, you need to be grateful for your parents. You need to help your parents. You need to help your parents when they need your help. So if you can help, if you can attend to your parents, that means you have a heart of gratitude. Supreme Buddha said, attending and taking care of one's parents is a blessing for that person. It is a blessing for his life. So, when you are living in your life, be grateful for every single person who helped you to make your life a better one. There are so many people out there who helped you. Your parents, your teachers, your mentors, your friends, your colleagues, every one of us. We cannot live alone in this world. We need the help from others. So you need to go to them and say thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for helping me. Say those words from the deepest place in your heart, from a mind with honesty. Then you will feel a peacefulness within your heart. That means being grateful for someone, saying thank you for someone, is not a weakness. It is not a bad thing. Normally, people think that we don't need help from others. But remember, we cannot live alone in this world. We need the help from other people. So there is one great quality that gives the birth to all other good human qualities. Patience, kindness, compassion. There are so many, thousands and thousands of great good human qualities. But if you don't have the gratitude within your heart, the quality of gratefulness within your heart, you cannot build other good human qualities. So be grateful for every person who helped you in your life journey, and say thank you to them, make them happy, and see the joy in their faces and their hearts. So if you have a heart of great gratitude, that means you have a big heart. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai.